if you heard what we were talking about before, Thousand Eyes, I want like a 10-word recap. We didn't get very far, so
10 word.
10-word
Okay.
recap.
Um,
Y-
top 7 teams locked. Other teams show up. Is that 10 words? I don't.
That was. You have 2 more words if you want.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. The 2 most important words that come last. I do I do really want to. You rose to the occasion really well. That was fantastic. Budgeting was perfect. We're gonna be starting on Stormpoint, playing 6 games today. So we'll start on Stormpoint. 2
Yes.
games, World's Edge. 2 games, E District. 2 games, and you made a really important point to me just before we went live. We've got no legend bans, which
No.
is something that I'll have to adjust to. Yeah.
You really will. And it's gonna be interesting because for how long we have not been using legend bands for that long, but it has made sense and it has felt right. And now to not have that is just a big change up. It also means like if you're really comfortable on a composition, like you can just run that every single game. You don't need as much flexibility and you can lean really heavy into what your skill set leans into. These crypto players now have the ability to just run their game every single game.
And that does really help, especially because drop spots are randomized. We haven't had a
Yes.
POI draft for these games, so over the course of 6 games, having at least some sort of stability in the form of your composition will be, I think, a nice way to make up for lost ground, whatever lost ground that might be. You were illustrating that we don't see nearly as much caustic here as we do in
Mhm.
other leagues, and so I'm really curious to see what that means. I'm already seeing some lifelines locked in, so we're going to say this is a learning day for me, Tessa. I'm going to
It is
figure a
going to be
lot
one.
about women's comp out today.
Yeah. We have, I believe, one specific lifeline player, uh, and you know what? They make it work. I will not lie. They make it work. There are a lot of scenarios where it has come in clutch, but we're seeing a lot of Ash. We're seeing a lot of Sparrow. We're seeing a Newcastle. That is one thing that I'm actually a little interested to see if other teams start to pick up because I think Newcastle's actually in a really good spot as we take a look here at Solus. Newcastle is in a decent spot, and that revive is still really, really good.
Yeah, and very nice to be able to reset constantly with your squad. I am really curious what those look like when we get to the mid to late game, because a lot of this is going to vary on density as well. Newcastle can exist in a very small amount of space, and how much that plays out in the later stages of the game, we'll find out. For now, however, we are going with a relatively central first zone. Second ring pull here is going to dictate a lot because we've still got basically all of Cedo, all of Cascade, a little bit of wall, and then all of checkpoint that are possible end zones until somebody hits the next ring scan.
Yeah, there's a lot here. Now, checkpoint is usually not hit, so I'm going to count out checkpoint. We might be going over towards either wall or the trenches over near North Pad, so that's where I'd be keeping my eyes open here, and where probably a lot of these teams are looking right now. We have seen too, just because Stormpoint, just by nature, is a lot more open. These teams that have struggles rotating in this open area do kind of just hit a wall at some point, and going through that middle area of the map is going to be really difficult.
You were absolutely right on the ring pull. We are going a little further away from checkpoint and way more up towards wall. In fact, almost touching the corner by Zeus Station, where Quieto will be able to rotate down. Yoimono and Lickmoons are already basically in zone. Lickmoon's coming out of
Legacy's out.
Cascade Falls right now.
Huh? Legacy just went out. Our team that has placed #1, our #1 team from last week, is the first team out in our first game this week. Not what I expected here. I don't know exactly what happened. I think that might have been the fight over by Cenote, which is just surprising. A full 3v3 that just did not go their way.
Yeah. And to have it happen this early in one of the 2 rounds that you get on Stormpoint, not fantastic. I won't lie to you. Solus, however, very far removed from the action on almost the opposite end of the
Yeah.
ring. We're going to be right next to Antidote, the team rotating out of Devastated Coast around now. And just due to the amount of time that we've seen Solis take on this corner of the zone, you can already tell what sort of playstyle they're going for, wanting to play slow probably for third ring and beyond, but this is not going to be a squad that's relying on zone positioning.
No, not at all. And they have the mechanics to back that up. They can absolutely just play on edge, take fights, look for these 3v3s, and beat most of the teams if they're in the right position. It's just, do they get caught out? They are running with Techni now, as opposed to Maple like they were previously. So there is a little bit of adjustment period still happening for Solus, and I think that has been felt. But this is still a very strong team that is very capable of taking fights with anybody in this series.
Yeah, if the pixels on my screen do not deceive me, having Techni on Newcastle is actually going to be quite nice.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
we were
been
talking
Techni.
about this zone, finding early positioning, and it can be huge enough. I'm honestly surprised that Yoimono even have a spot to play in wall, given the amount of time that's passed since this zone was revealed.
Yeah, I mean, Yoimono do have a lot of experience in the wall area. I believe they have landed at this before, and they have good rotational tools in this Ash. They also have the caustic to set themselves up, and I think really that's going to be their best option, is just to pick a building, bunker down, and get ready for the storm that is approaching.
The squad that just flew over them was Angelite, and have now actually positioned themselves on the opposite side of the wall. We'll see Yoimono throwing some shots at Meowth for the moment, but it's a game of stability, and with the caustic in zone, not too bad. I like the fact that we've already picked up an early amp as well.
Yeah.
It'll keep everybody else topped up. I think Sab's having access to that, especially on the Ash, who can get a little bit more aggressive, should keep the team in a nice spot.
Taking a look at Clean right now. I've had their ups and downs the last couple of weeks. Currently sitting on the outside of wall. They're going to need to make a rotate in, and they're taking a look to see if they're going to have to fight their way in or not. I do want to see if this team can pop off, because I think any team with Incep on it is very capable. That Incep has been around for a long time, has that seniority in the scene, knows what she's doing. I just want to see this team actually get the ball rolling.
With the survey beacon, Clean have actually spotted Phantom, who are just near the zip line going up to wall. That was a very close squad for what was essentially a raw beacon scan. Incep just walked up and hit that. No smoke, no gas, no nothing. But Clean do not get punished for it. Instead, are going to rotate in through the south side. This is, I will say, a little bit more risky, but it could result in a lot more kills for any team that opts into approaching wall from the south.
Speaking of wall, Addicted already inside it here, although they are in the middle of a firefight, and I don't think they want to stick around here too long. They are just going to, take the port, take the easy way in, and Ducks will be A-okay. But Addicted, you can see we have one of these teams that does not want to run the Caustic, chooses for the Watson instead.
Say goodbye to D's, moving us down to 18 squads. It's been a not incredibly slow game. We've actually had a decent amount of teams posturing in the same area, but squads are definitely hesitant to full commit to fights. And when I say squads, I am of course not talking about Lust, who escort Solis out of the lobby. Nice Peacekeeper shot from Jace. Does move us not only down to 17 squads, but taking out Solis is a big blow to deal. That is our squad that is in 4th place overall right now.
Lust already tanking some ring. We're looking at Boobies right now, who are inside of the middle of the map here, and they are bunkered down a little early. Seems like they have a team right by them. They might try and take this evac tower once that team leaves, and it does seem like they are gonna just bide their time and move slowly.
Celtic Cell is not a bad idea, and it's interesting when you see a team choosing to run Catalyst as well, because Catalyst is a legend that you really want to babysit into the late game, but once she gets to late game, Catalyst can turn a top 5 position into a top 2 quite easily.
And G Skoden right now, also gonna be running as a duo but still a scary team. Reticent is very mechanically sound and very capable of 1v2ing, especially with that Peacekeeper in hand. So I'm not counting this team out just because they are missing a player right now, especially considering how wide open things are. I think if they get in a position where they can just take a clean 3v3, or 3v2 in this case, it is very possible for them to get something going, and they are going to make a rotate themselves, see if they can get into the ring safely.
And this is where things can get a little iffy, because approaching the what looks like wall zone from the south side is going to mean a lot of crowding in this very same area. Cascade Falls miraculously open right now, despite the fact that there are a couple of teams in the area. Nobody's actually in these buildings, and NG Skoden actually find themselves with a great building for even 2 zones from now. They don't have ring scans, so they don't know this yet. But that building is actually going to be in the next zone, as we are getting a hard pull far to the south.
Yeah, that's the big thing here, is that I don't think a lot of these teams, this has gotten a lot of the stronger teams up on the northern side. They've really tried to predict this. Angelite, the most northern team on the map right now, are just way out of that next ring when this one closes. They're going to have to go back down south. It's going to that single building in the middle of nowhere where Antidote and No Magic have already set themselves up. And all of a sudden, a team that, like No Magic, that has had some struggles, is in prime position.
You know, it's kind of a, say, a distant angle to think about this zone from, but right underneath where the camera is right now has become a fascinating position. Remember we saw Clean rotate in earlier? Well, Clean actually sit basically right underneath the camera, not on the buildings, but inside of Command Center. If Clean can hold on to Command Center against both Jag and Lust that are pushing them right now, Clean could very easily come out with a top 5 performance, since they'd have the most high ground in the lobby.
But Lust is not a team to be tempered with. It is just a question of, are Lust actually going to go through Command Center? Because Command Center can be a death trap, and all of these teams know it, especially when we're looking at the Caustics and Watsons that exist in the current meta. You kind of don't want to mess with it. So I would not be surprised if Lust actually want to take this more open route on the southern side.
Curious what the thought process is right now, because I honestly have to agree with you. Once you see any resistance inside Command Center, it does seem safe.
They might just go for it.
I mean, I don't even think that they know for sure that a team is in here yet. That's what Renee's scouting is trying to do. She does spot that there's a squad ahead of them. They obviously won't have data on exactly who this is, but I don't think it much matters when they're applying this much pressure to Lust. We already saw an Arcstar go out, and the fact that Renee is swinging this anyway, with both Scar and Jace taking a reset, really speaks to the confidence out of Renee.
This team will take a fight. This team will take a fight no matter what. I thought Lust might go for the safe route, but it's also very in character for them to just take the fight, too. Nice 65, gets the crack as well. Lust may have an opportunity.
She's kind of going crazy right now. Cooks with the RE45 as well. That's instep down. And after Renee's already done enough damage to basically crack 2 other people, falling to 1 HP and still resetting behind this pillar, Renee knows what she's doing, and she has essentially spelled the doom for yet another squad. Clean get wiped out, and Jag are going to join them.
Jag, the other team that was by Command Center. We said if Clean can survive this, they will have the high ground. Lust now have the high ground. We also see Angelite have been eliminated up on that northern side of the wall, because everyone has realized we gotta go south, and we gotta go south fast. We are gonna lose a lot of teams.
Instant panic. Now Lust are being held out right now on the high ground.
You didn't see Sweet Pea.
Illusion rat this one out.
There's no way.
How is Sweet Pea
How?
noticed?
How did they not? How is she not seen? Is she just using like a camouflage skin? Like, what is happening? Does she have the ghillie suit on?
Oh my god, quiet. Oh my god. Sorry. Like, I know that I shouldn't just be like staring daggers at the kill feed right now, but Quieto got wiped out so quickly by Lust as they exited command. This should have been a good fight for Kaido, but Lust, they are on a tear today.
Yeah, illusion eliminated. Yoimono did find that. Scans from the Sparrow also going to be shot out, and Yoimono not in a bad position here. They have high ground themselves. Looking at Boo now as they trying to fight a team down below while they look for their next rotation. Getting some decent damage down, but I don't think they want to take this fight.
Boo would much rather make it into even the top 10 squads right now. Now the opportunity to, with fight happening down in Cascade. We're looking for angles to punish, to grab a little extra AP, but not overextending until we see Crack come through. Teams will be wary. Phantom not having that luxury, though. Almost to take that fight. R99 did go crazy there, but Boobies, they reset. Phantoms go down. 11 squads left.
Ooh.
Actually, with a conduit, I don't think even with a conduit.
Oh no. No, they cannot, and Boobies go down. Lick's able to get that victory for themselves, and they're in a very solid position themselves, close to the ring, but more importantly, they have that tree for cover. Now we're going to see Boo looking to get the respawn, and they should be able to get this. This is actually not a bad use of that catalyst wall. The problem is you don't have it for a rotate going forward.
Yeah, funny how that works. With Boo being initially very cautious around their approach to the low ground, the fact that they did happen to overextend and now have to extend the cap wall and get the reset, they've drawn a lot of attention to this south side of the zone. And there are going to be a lot of squads looking down at Boo. In fact, they may still lose their Ash, yet 1 HP left, and Kaz will end up taking the Void Nexus forward into zone. Not going to be making it as a trio.
I'm just surprised that they had a port here this whole time and didn't take it before, so it's a little confusing. Addicted, Envy on single-digit HP, but does have full shields. Gonna have to rat out for now. Lust moving out from their command center high ground to take the fight. Lots of teams going down. We have Lickmoons, Meowth, both falling. Lust still feeling pretty strong.
This leaves us really very few teams left, as they're all going to be largely clustered inside the buildings that Lust looked down on. But take a look at the position from Lust. Now that they've got height, how far can they make this go? You'll notice they don't have a catalyst on this squad, and so surviving is really going to be limited down to the smokes that Lust are able to hold on to, and whether they can outlast the squads that are inevitably fighting over the building.
Yeah, that's the thing. Whenever the zone pulls this way, it is just a fight for these two buildings that exist. You are always feeling good if you're inside those buildings. You're feeling awful if you're outside of them. It is a very small pool of teams that can feel solid about their positioning here.
Skoden do go out, but having made it all the way to 8th as a duo, honestly, not
bad
at all. That was and remember, that's a team that's already qualified.
Yeah. Also want to point out too, teams like Solus and Licks here that have that Newcastle wall, in places like this, I think Newcastle can be really, really good on Stormpoint for this reason. You have the ability to create cover where there is none, and Stormpoint is the competitive map that has the least amount of natural cover.
Create some up here. Mix making the immediate Ash rotate up onto the high ground. This could be the game-winning play, or this could be the game-losing play. And it's really going to come down to who has good Skynades, or rather, are the Skynades going to be good enough? Because Licks are in a very vulnerable position, especially as Bangles start to be used. Lust are going to start moving down onto this as well. They've got a fantastic position onto Licks, and Jason really wants that last shot. There's a chance that the Scar just straight up ults this. And yes, we do! Lust have done enough damage for so they think, but immediately having lost Scarlita, Jace has to carry the banner. One more Peacekeeper shot might win them the fight, but instead, Jace will back down onto the low ground to try and go for the reset instead, and it looks like they're going to pull this off. Lust completely unbothered while Boo go down.
Incredible, though, to see that Newcastle wall put in so much work. Jace not able to get that revive off, and now Yoimoto in the middle of a fight.
And a immediately pulled right out of it as well. High ground still completely run by Licks, and that's got to be the focus in this late game. They're actually getting jumped on by an altar who gets immediately deleted. I'm so sorry, Nessie. You did not. You deserved better than that. Addicted, gonna be on the low ground. Hopefully, when and if they make it up to height, they get a little bit of a better fate than Nessie.
Definitely. This is also where this Watson is really doing a lot for the team here. Are they able to just set up these fences? We have created an area that you cannot pass through easily. They're throwing out nades. Gen not placed, so it is going to force more fences to come out. But again, who's able to push this? Addicted have found solid cover that only nades can hit.
With Licks, I really don't see the way that a team can contest them. I'm looking up in the top left, and even there, it seems like Licks are going to have high ground until the very end of the game.
Yeah.
It really is going to be, do they win the 3v3 against the team they have to drop down on? And even that is looking kind of like a piece of cake right now, if I'm honest. With the amount of high ground you have, and the fact that you're one of our squads running a Newcastle, you can not only create cover, but really important against a team that is in the building underneath you, you can trap and push around with a Newcastle.
Yeah, and they should have another one back up. No Magic are stuck as a duo now. They have not gotten their teammate back up. So while they are in this top 4, they are at a major disadvantage, and it's the caustic of all things too. So you are losing out so much ability to take space by not having this caustic.
Just try and swap. They do go for an abduct onto Licks, but don't end up landing it. 4 teams left. It's a matter of time. Licks are certainly going to fight No Magic right underneath them. There's no choice for both the squads. Arena does end up popping out Newcastle while defensive, oddly enough, just letting No Magic ultimately fall to what looks like the ring and letting everyone else fight around Licks. This is a very patient play. Scout out with the smoke does end up spotting 2. Addicted go down, and Licks, they've got low ground, they've got high ground, but Yes does go down.
Yes falls. Now they have to fight this as a duo. They lose another one. Serena has to clutch up and an antidote. How? What?
Was that a caustic difference? Because that's what
That
it
might
looked
have
like at the end there. Especially with the crazy clips taking down Yes earlier. Tina bought a lot of space for the squad with the extra caustic gas. It looks like Appy Juice was able to jump around quite easily on the Sparrow and find some cute angles.
Very solid from Antidote to take that from a position where they were not really, we were not looking at Antidote as a team that should have been in a great position. They made it work. When we saw all the other teams fighting, they also were not engaging with it. They were trying to make sure they were not looked at. And then when they finally ended up taking that fight with Licks, Licks just got a little bit too antsy. All that patience kind of drifted away, and we saw Licks just lose one of their members, and that's just a 2v3 from that point.
Yeah, I mean, it really was, I think, 2 different pages that we saw Licks on. One was committing onto the low ground and really wanting to wipe out a squad, and the other was wanting to win the game. And unfortunately, you can only have one of those 2 things.
Yeah, a little bit tough here. We're going to take a look here at the results. I do not have them, unfortunately,
Not
because it
happen,
does
but
not seem like
you
over.
have them, audience.
I don't think Overstat has updated. So unfortunately, I don't know the numbers. Do know that Antidote should be in a really good place. I think Licks is really solid as well, because they should have had a lot of kills from that positioning that they were in. Lust had a lot of kills as well, so even though they went out earlier, got to be sitting up high as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to know the standings, but we've got to troubleshoot some overstat, and we got to get ready for game 2. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with your second game on Stormpoint. And we're back. And we are back with a second game on the horizon. Tessa, game one was that's all right. That's all right. Actually, I don't know if that's all right.
All right, we're back. We're back. Okay, cool.
We're so back.
Apologies.
No,
Did
no,
not
no.
realize we were
We were
muted.
we were staying quiet for dramatic effect.
Yeah. So should be okay now. Taking a look at Kieto, who had a very rough game number one. Again, another team. This is, I think, honestly, one of our longest standing teams in women's comp as of right now. And going out as early as they did, not what you want or expect from a team like that.
But they will have a pretty big advantage coming into this particular game, since they're starting off by command center, and not only have the spiders, which they are doing right now, but a really nice rotate out of command center, because the ring is pulling south of command. And whenever that happens, you've got an incredible rotate out of this high ground in command center with an evac tower. You can get 800 light years away. It does not matter.
Definitely not. And obviously right now, like we were kind of saying when, you know, as I was thinking during our quiet time, we were talking about the POIs and how these teams have to go to random POIs. I like the change just from I think it's interesting, right? These teams are now not knowing what teams they're landing by. They may not have practice on this POI, and practicing on a POI is a fair skill to build. But I do like the idea of you gotta be flexible enough to work with what you got. Legacy maybe trying to do a little bit of that by setting up this trap outside command center.
Yeah, do you like this idea? That's the question. I kind of do. Trap's gonna be popped pretty soon. It's quiet or exiting, and they have no idea what's around the corner. Oh god, yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, I am so sorry. There is no way to outplay that. Legacy will grab the first knock, and I'm sure looking for the second. Some nicely placed thermites, actually, by Kieto. Will buy them a second, but Izzy going straight through the wall. Have Legacy on the warpath as Roy Mono are actually the first squad to go out. Nice stinger bolt. Narumi's bought space and has scouted out the second member of Kieto. Again, these thermites are landing perfect.
It's not even about the damage. It's about the fact that it is stalling for as long as it is, which gives reset potential. Legacy looking to continue their chase, but realizing there might be better things to do with their time. Gonna jump back into command center where we see if they're gonna set up another trap. Solus in the middle of the trenches right now in a literal sense with that Spitfire. Kyrie not going to land any shots, but will be looking to go on the hunt.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the same game plan that we saw Solis forced into from game number 1. This time, though, they have the advantage up against boobies who are rotating around the, down beast area. Solis have fantastic positions right now. Look at how much area they control, and those will be the first couple of kills going over to them. It's easy KP for the moment. A lot of ground still to make up. And boobies do get away with 2 still. So reset potential as there is crafting a little bit further south in downed beast. The Solis can't contest just yet.
Oh, we are holding the shot. Nope, Fishy takes it, can't get it. Now taking some more shots too. Charge rifle not working out. I do want to point out here, as we just kind of see a little bit of poke back and forth, Solus is one of the teams that has been running the Wraith in favor of the Ashe, which is very interesting because we've mostly seen everybody running the Ashe, and then you play at when bans are active, you play Ashe until she gets banned, and then you play 1 game of Wraith. Not the case here. They are running that Wraith because they want to, and they want that flexibility in their rotation.
First 2 we don't talk about. The last one. And this one connects. 108 to the back of the end. Illusion are going to fall, and Clean, I will say, could clean the fight up a little bit more, but on the whole, not dropping a single person, you can't have too many.
Especially in the ring, of all things, too. So good for them to be able to get a win. Now, what will they do from there is the question. Taking a look at Lust as well, who are still looking to play as aggressive as ever. Good shots from the 30-30. Jace putting the pressure on, and Renee tanking some gas as all the resources are being expended right now by Lust just existing.
This has been a, honestly, really great push, and we're seeing Lust with the same approach to the fight as Solis had earlier. Take up as much space as possible, spread out to get as many angles as possible, and as long as none of you fall, you're going to be okay. But as soon as that first domino drops, all of a sudden things can spiral out of control. The nice thing is, Alter being in the composition does stabilize a little bit of that, but it is the weakness of spreading out this much in a fight.
Taking a look now, seeing what Legacy can do. I really want to see, hopefully we don't see Legacy hit a similar snag like they did last time. They are getting a scan. Yeah, they just get the scan from there. Do know there is a team nearby, right outside, that they have to keep an eye open for. But right now, Legacy, I don't think too worried. Addicted on the move into Barometer, which is where our ring's going to be going. And I love Barometer endgames because there's actually really good cover. But the catch with Barometer is everything around it is wide open. You got to get there early or with rotational skills, or you're going to die in the open.
And I'm going to be really real about this. Addicted did not hit a ring console on the way in to know that they've basically landed themselves in center zone. There's no ring console at Mill. There's no ring console at Cedo. They just raw predicted this, and you know, if they're committing, if they're going, you know what, this is where zone ends, even though we don't actually know that, God tier play. I think the worry here is that you commit into barometer and then you falter for a second. You think, oh, maybe the zone's going elsewhere, and you're not able to hold on to your position. That'll be the real test for Addicted as the game goes on. For a team like Lick Moons, the real test will be, can you make it out of Jurassic with Jag and Lust in your path?
Lust specifically playing surprisingly careful here. I think they realize that they don't want to get caught in between a couple of teams. So they're just going to back away. Say, we got to get over into barometer eventually. Let's see what we can do. Again, they have that Ashport to get in there. Rotational skills abound. Jag going to use the Valkyrie to get in. But they are taking a couple of shots in the meantime.
Valkyrie, not often used, at least these days, but you see the use case here. They are not all together, however, and that'll open things up for Angelite, who can easily grab a couple of kills with the separated members that just jumped in out of Jag. In fact, Angelite is just going to full commit onto the solo. There's only one person from Jag in here, and Angelite are knocking on the door to take him out. Watson fences be darned. Fishy does push in for only 12 damage, so not getting the kill just yet. And I'd expect the rest of Jag are headed over. And moreover, Angelite have got other priorities. Yes, the kill would be nice, but you've got to make your way into zone.
Yeah, Jag are not going to let this up easily. They will break open these Watson fences, place down their own, and try to stay inside this building. Alita goes down, did not stay inside the building. I gave very specific instructions. Jag not able to follow that, and might pay the price for it, because I don't know how they're going to get their Watson back.
You were very clear. You know, credit to her, Alita did full commit to this rotation, sprinting straight out of the door in a way that La Mamba Negra has not achieved it yet. However, rejoining the rest of the squad will at least try and keep Alita up. Potential of a res later. Jag now as the original duo that landed together. They're going to have to abandon Alita until later, finding themselves cover first and a trio, hopefully a few seconds later on. Vix sitting at the top do have better things to do than drop down. I think they learned that last game.
Definitely. The boobies do go down. Addicted down below. They have a team above them. Also going to be using the port here. Envy will be getting out. I'm actually really curious here too, because like one of the things that I have gotten told too is like sometimes these ports are not used for the kidnap potential. They're actually being used for, oh, I'm gonna shut up while this Kraber shot. Nope, okay, they're not gonna hit it. The ports are being used for scan potential as well, because it is giving a lot of information on where people are sitting, even if it's not going to actually get the kidnap.
Charge there, now.
Bit of a generous swing from Cresta.
Well,
Trying to find some sort of damage knock advantage later on. Use a Kraber
had the
shot.
stats.
No, you won't.
Can you imagine? I think if my teammate used a Kraber, if my teammate used a Kraber to take out a Sparrow Q, I think I would just exit the game. I think I would just leave.
That'd be a special kind of game plan.
Like,
Legacy cooking up one of their own, as well as Solis. Both teams approaching from the north side of the zone, actually with the potential to run into each other. Remember, Solis do still have that Kraber.
Kraber, 2 PKs. So they have the long distance and the short distance covered. Kree looking around. Does not see anybody. I want to see her hit this shot. I want to see her hit this shot. 128. Just gets the PK too. She's just that cracked.
PK really making the big difference there. Insta swap out of Crest Step, and that's exactly the opening that Solis needed. Antidote are just going to evaporate in front of them, leaving Solis the only team on this bridge. Clean still ahead of them. Meowth still sitting on the exit of Cenote, but Legacy, who approached from north earlier, have found just a little bit of safety right now. Not extraordinarily pushable, but I wouldn't call this a safe spot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how pushable do you think it is? Because it seems to be maybe not extraordinarily pushable, but definitely ordinarily pushable.
Tossing out barrels like her life depends on it. And I'll be honest with you, it absolutely does. She does ultimately fall, however, and Legacy choose to play for survival instead of anything else, betting on a third party because the third party has arrived. In fact, there are 4 teams in this area. So as Lust reset on the low ground, NG Skoden are busting into the building, knocking down the doors and taking Boo out.
This is a team that is upset about game number 1. They did not have their full third. Now they're coming in stronger than ever, and they are putting the hurt down. They do want to take these fights. Legacy, though, still without their caustic. Likely gonna have to just dip. Solus are also moving in on this.
Yeah, this building has become the focus for teams that are not expecting to survive the next zone pull. And Solus, you'd understand. Kieto end up falling, but it is all about who the last team standing is coming out of here, because you'll notice that this particular building not in the next zone. Come on, we triple swing this. Hold hands, run around the corner. The nades, perhaps out of an overabundance of caution, but NG Skoden are going to fall, and Solus take control of this northernmost building. Legacy still around. There's still a 3v3 cooking up here.
They're still looking. I don't think they want to get involved in this. I think the right call is to just make a move elsewhere, and they will do just that. I'm scared I'm going to see eyeballs again. Like, there was a split second earlier where I saw the back of Sparrow's eyeballs. I don't want to see that again. I don't want to see Caustic's eyeballs. You're going to get the port, though, to get out. They look up and see a team, though.
Immediately on board with Addicted as well. Our team really to watch as they hit this crazy rotating prediction into the center of zone. Now Envy takes a wide swing, breaking 2 shields, but ultimately backing off to the rest of the squad. Lady Texty taking a lot of shots as well, but Addicted have got a fantastic place to stabilize from. This is, I'm not going to say unpushable, but extremely difficult to push. Doesn't sound like a stretch.
Listen, every time you say that, I get a little scared now. Because it's like the calm before the storm is about to happen. Meowth on their move now just to take a look, see what they can get from up above, and they have some good shots taking on a team down below. These ports are not doing it. Solus does go down in 11th, so another fairly early exit for them.
Completely opens things up for Legacy, the only other team to be that far north with Solus. Now still, I will say, have Phantom in the area, but it's a much wider game for Legacy that they can push into, I would say, even a top 5 position from where they're at right now. Angel Light going to be competing for even making it to 8, since they have to go through Jag, Clean, Meowth, and even Addicted coming through the south side of the zone. And Angel Light is going to make some of their moves now, taking out 2 members of Meowth and securing themselves a corner of zone. It is a sliver, but it is enough.
It is honestly perfect here, because who's going to be able to push them on this? They can let all of these other teams. We still have 10 squads up here. You don't want to be in the best position, because everybody wants to be in the best position. Take a small spot that nobody wants to fight over and let these teams fight it out. Angelite might be able to get a high placement off of this.
Something Addicted are doing quite well. They're just taking, like you said, the position that nobody wants. And now, letting D's fight for the position that people do want, the high ground. The one bit is going to be most difficult to make it out of. Jag go down. No secrets. That's a good idea. Ends up popping the portal up towards the high ground. Die Coral can make it up along with her, but no. We're going to see a couple teams expire on the low ground. Clean, alive for now, are honestly, they're not going to win the game. They're going to make it pretty far, and that's good enough.
I was going to say, it does not look good for them. This is not a position you want to be in. They can Ashport up. I don't know how long they have on their Ashport. They also have altars, so they can get themselves out of there. But you're kind of just waiting right now. Phantom, waiting to see if a team is going to push them. They have set up all the defenses that they can. Also have a Bangalore at their disposal, so they really can dissuade teams from trying to get in this building.
And I'll be honest with you, just dissuading teams is enough for Phantom, especially with Legacy right next to them. If you're Phantom, your win condition is don't get pushed by Legacy, because they are going to clear a lot of space for you. And that seems to be enough for right now. We'll see how Clean end up making their way out of this. We mentioned the Ashport, we mentioned the altar that is available to this squad. But as soon as one thing goes wrong, the dominoes are going to start to fall uncontrollably.
When are they going to go? Okay, okay. Seems like they're
straight up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, they gotta get going, but now they're going right into another team. Not looking good for Clean.
And they port straight in as well. Oatmeal Cookie, I want to say surely going to get pushed here. Swing around the side from Addicted, who may have overextended for this fight. Dux goes down. Lady Pexley still up, but immediately falls as I say that. And it's just Envy left. Addicted, overextending for those kills across the game. And we are down to 5 squads as Clean go down.
Addicted barely going to survive right now. Legacy looking for this. They're just going to jump on this, but they might do the same thing here. There's still 5 squads up, and if they take too long on this, which they kind of did, their reset potential is a little bit tough. Winnie on half HP now.
Addicted gone. Legacy still in a difficult spot, especially with Winnie now down. Stinger Bolt buys them a little bit more time, and that's all Legacy need is time. Lust will fall, the only team on their side, and now Phantom looking over, smell the wind, but they get pushed from the opposite end. It's a war on 2 fronts for Phantom, a war they cannot win. Trying to survive for as long as possible. RE45 comes out. The knockdown shield's not quite enough. Angelite climb up over the bridge, and from a doomed rotate, Angelite take things to a win in game 2.
We said it. That spot, nobody wanted to be there. Lots of other teams to fight. You just wait. You just let these other teams do what they're going to do, and they make their way into a victory. Great game number 2 after a rough game number 1 for Angelite.
And like, it's perfect because at no point were they the focus in that final zone. They let Clean make the rotate first. It doesn't work out. RIP Clean. We saw you try. Still made it up to, you know, top 5, but after that, you see an overextension from Addicted, and it just turns into, you know, one thing after another after another. Difficult game to lose control of for a lot of our squads. Even Legacy, that I think should feel like, oh, we had that win. We almost got it. Lots to be proud of here. But after 2 games now, Angelite take the lead, being able to grab that win after a 15th place in game number 1. Big turnaround to now be tied with Lust.
13 kills, first place finish, 28 total points. Now, Lust, though, still, again, this is a team that has not placed top 3 yet, and they are number 2 on the leaderboard because they're just fragging out. Addicted do get a really solid position as well, just the consistency that they have had. Antidote, Licks, both falling off a little bit after that second game.
Now, that's all for Storm Point, but World's Edge is coming up after this, and so there are a lot of questions that we're going to be answering, especially with what you were just highlighting. Lust have done really well. They've stayed really consistent. Can they keep those kills going on World's Edge? What do those games look like? We'll find out after I grab some water and we take a short break.
Storm Point's always kind of a...
Welcome back, everyone, as we just wrapped up Storm Point, and now Soul League will take on World's Edge. We teased a little bit of this in the post-game, Tessa, but
Mhm.
now the question becomes, will our high KP teams be able to keep up with that on one of the most conservatively played maps in all of Apex Legends?
Yeah, it's the map that everybody has the most experience on because it has been in competitive rotation for the longest. It is the map that has so many areas that can be played slow and safe. And I would not be surprised to see things slow down a little bit. Storm Point not only just being a map that I think some of these teams really take the opportunity to play aggressive on, but having all of that open ground really does lend to it just being very kill heavy. Now getting onto World's Edge, more buildings to work with. It's gonna get even worse when we get to E District and you have even more
Yeah.
buildings. So I'm kind of curious what's going to happen.
Right. It'll be like I'm just, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make the joke. I'm gonna okay. I'm gonna make the joke because then people will be like, "What was the joke going to be?" And it'll probably be
Yep.
something. I
Nope.
was
Yep.
just
That
going
that
to
was
say
exactly.
it's like global politics. We're just getting more and more conservative over time. That's all I was gonna say. I This is not a political broadcast. It just came out of my mouth.
Dude, I'm
Mind
gonna
me.
get
I'm
canceled,
sorry.
man.
I it's not cancelable. It's just awkward. Um and we're into World's Edge. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm
Woo.
already a trans woman casting video games. Like, I can't have this happen to me, Dio. You
I'm
can't be
actually
doing this
sweating
to
right
me.
now. I'm actually sweating. But
You're
I know
ruining my career.
I had to say it. Oh, because otherwise, I'm sure it would have felt. Can we talk about Worlds, please? Like, stop sidetracking us for a second. It's actually necessary. World's Edge is where we're going next. A reminder, these are randomized drops, so where you see your favorite team drop in this game might not be where they're going next game. However, the team to keep track of for me, Angelite, are winners of game number 2, will be dropping out of Skyhook East, right next to Boobies, who are dropping in Skyhook West, and Addicted, who land Survey Camp.
Yeah. Overlooked completely untouched, by the way. And some of these teams should be aware of that, especially like our Climatizer team should be moving down over into that if Lickmoons have been paying attention and they know there is no Overlook team. That's a bunch of great loot you can take. Our ring going to be taking us into the Lava Siphon Geyser area, so a very familiar ring pool for a lot of these teams.
D's, Cleans, Solis. I'm looking at Yoi Mono, who don't appear to have ring console, but I bet they'll be able to figure it out with with hitting cleans in a second. No magic, even lust. The fact that we have basically every POI, with the exception of stacks, having a ring console that is right next to the next zone is going to make for a fantastic game, in theory, for these squads.
Theoretically, as we're gonna take a look here at Legacy, we're in the middle of a fight over at Monument, and they do get one knock. Legacy looking again to just try and get themselves going today.
Not Meowth. Not Meowth. I still need to find the opportunity this cast to say Meowth, that's right, but this is Meowth, that's wrong. Legacy cannot be wiping out this squad this early, but a 57 crack on the high ground looks good for Narumi. Nice job with the Altar Portal, getting up to the height once again. Sia's going to go down, and oh no, Tessa. Meowth, that's wrong indeed. They end up falling. Goodbye. We'll try for another one next game.
If the bit doesn't work, force a way to make it work, right?
Yes.
Like that's gotta find a way. But Legacy forcing your hand and forcing Meowth's hand or paw, I guess in this case.
I think,
Um,
yeah.
I think it would qualify as a paw.
Yeah.
not ending well for Meowth, nonetheless. Addicted,
Although
feeling a
given that
little
it's
bit of the same pain,
feet,
too. Yeah.
stands on its hind legs. Where is the line between paw and hand? Jag exploring that question right now, or not.
I don't think they are.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are at all. They do end up, however, exploring the high ground and finding a nice bit of that. It's not a fantastic start for Jag, still sitting on white shields. They didn't have a lot of evo on the initial rotate. And again, not a whole lot of data on where this ring is going. All they know is that they need to go south, but the actual access to that a lot more difficult to pull off. Nice jump into a PK shot from Oatmeal Cookie.
They have had, honestly, really solid moments. Oatmeal Cookie has hit some really good PK shots, and hopefully that continues here. Clean playing slow and steady right now. They do know that Geyser is in this ring for a while. Incep getting hit hard, has to back away and heal up.
Reset inside the zone. We'll note that it's not a perfect position. Nice knock from Incep, but Illusion in trouble now. As 2 knocks leaves everything up to Banks, who goes immediately down to the ground. No magic. Make a very clean 3v3 happen, and it's a great time to do so. This early on into the ring, you can take fight center zone.
Absolutely. Especially just now seeing NG Skoden, who in trouble. Ambushe has to be on the run at this point to try and find a way out, and she will succeed.
She in a different PLI.
Yeah. You just move out, find better pastures, because right now it's not looking good. Speaking of not looking good, PK shots hitting on this team inside the building, also dropping the Stinger. Legacy hitting hard.
Nice tracking, even through the altar port. No magic. Gone almost as quickly as they escorted Illusion out of the lobby. This building maybe a little bit cursed, but Legacy's team fighting as clean as it was in game 2. Still retaining some nice control of the lobby right now, while Clean hold on to their spot in Geyser. This is a really interesting play to me because, again, looking at this zone that Clean have access to, this doesn't look like a Geyser ending.
No. It does not, and I think part of it is they're getting gate kept. I think ideally they would love to be a little bit further into Lava Siphon, but they're just getting hit every time they try to inch forward, and they don't want to risk taking that fight, especially not knowing how many other teams there might be nearby. Thank you.
Buy up and countdown.
Thank you, Stony, for loading.
But not spotted. I think we're actually going to pull off this res.
I think they are, yeah. Just not really too bad. Angel 8 just going for the push here. Ellie wants it.
That was, oh my god, they made it work. Angelite don't get knocked. They take the roof. It looked like a doomed Ash portal, but inting together is not inting at all. Maddie finds a lot of damage on the low ground and should be able to drop just fine, picking up another kill for Angelite. This is one of those cases where Lick Moons just turn tail and run. As soon as you see that first pick go down, you've lost the high ground, you've lost your first member. Angelite, they get all of No Name to themselves. And a pretty good rotation into zone as well. Legacy picking their second fight inside of zone, this time up against Phantom. And Winnie locking things down with a 30-30, makes that look pretty good. Unfortunately, Narumi gets shot in the back. Must have shown up to the chat.
See, just a little too slow on the rotate. We'll go for the reset thanks to their altar port. I also just want to call out, that is classic Ellie of just like, I'm bored, I'm gonna hit the Ash port. Like, yeah. we're just going on this. And she has the skills to just do that too, by the way. Like, I unironically would not be surprised at all if the comm was, I'm bored and I'm just gonna go on this.
And doing it and surviving with Havoc into PK as well in 2025. Absolutely wild.
She's built like that. She's just built like that.
Sneaky rotate. I don't believe going to be spotted by Lust, but I guess we'll find out.
Say it's
on the
quiet?
way in as well.
A quiet rotate for Kieto?
I am offended that you would say that, but I understand.
Why are you offended?
I don't know. I needed something inflammatory. Puns, they take something away from your soul. And
I
sighs
Yeah,
audibly.
I
Sighs audibly at
you
pun.
you are my only casting duo that really just leaves me speechless. And it's impressive the consistency at which you're able to do it.
You do bring something out of yourself. That's good. I find myself just saying things that actually I don't need to say at all. Wow, that was an immediate retreat. That was so fast. Angelite, their fight with Clean proceeding at light speed, and I'm not just saying that because you saw the altar portal. Angelite now hold the back half of Geyser and Clean. They've got to perform the defense on the low ground. Clean have held onto this for so long, and now it's time to make it worth it. If you can hold out Angelite here, you're going to get another couple of kills. You're probably the only team coming from this side. It's absolutely worth staying in Geyser. If Angelite take you down, the last 10 minutes for Clean, not worth it. Ooh.
My God,
Sometimes you just get triple tapped like that. My bad.
She's been trying to hit shots like that all day. They've just not been landing, and we finally get it, and it's just like triple tap with the 30-30. Like, yeah, my bad.
Reset has gone on inside here. Clean. Maybe not full healed, but a lot better off than they were after eating the emotional damage out of the 30-30. Angelite back off, and it's a good thing that they're playing this a little more safe, because there are other teams that should be rotating in from the north side. Lick Moons going to be coming up over the high ground from No Name and into Geyser, making this a 3-team battle. Clean still desperately needing to survive, again, in order to make this game plan worth it, as the zone that is revealed just now is going to be pulling away from Geyser entirely.
Clean looking for a rotate seemingly here. They're just gonna not engage with this fight. Ashport over, although they're still in the open air and they need to get out of view. They will succeed in doing so. Inches moved by Clean, but it is near that ring nonetheless.
Still getting priority on it and avoiding the fight with Angelite for now. Jag going to be a little more comfortable, are pushing their way into zone. Technically inside it already, but now that you've lost one, starts to get a lot more antsy. This Ashport goes somewhere. It was an Ashport. That's
away.
Absolutely sure.
I mean, they're trying to just get the reset here. They want to get their third to just take the port and then eventually pull them up over where it is clear. Yep, that will be the play, and they should be able to get that reset A-okay. Boobies do get eliminated. Not a call I thought I'd ever make as a caster, but Licks also now looking here from their low ground to just put some pressure on. This is a tight spot for them to be in.
When I saw the team list today, I knew it was gonna happen, you know?
It's more awkward for you, I feel like.
You know what? A little bit, but I've been doing this thing where I just, if I feel awkward doing something, I just like commit really hard.
Yeah, no, that's the play. That's the play.
That's how I've been going with it recently. But I've been like, the awkward thing is that I've been vocalizing it a lot, so I'll just be like commit angrily to watching awkward TV. And you know what? In this case, it has actually worked out. I don't.
It's not always the solution, but in this specific scenario was the solution.
Yeah.
I got you.
I will say, I have been considering just hitting us with a grits teeth angrily and says boobies, but I couldn't. It wasn't quite the right time. Maybe next game. Teasers for future game. Now Lust sitting on the south end zone. Just to think about Apex Legends for a second here. Lust approaching from the south side. I will say team to watch given what they gave us in Storm Point, because the question around this team is, can they keep the KP up? Right now they have. They've collected 3 kills so far. this next zone pull going to be the thing that determines how successful Lust have been. If they can get another team wipe, I'm going to call this a map win for Lust. If they can't, then we're starting to see the maps turn against them as the playstyles, like we said, more conservative. Angelite from the north side of the map, very different story, taking out Soul. It's just a quick escort from the lobby, no worries, no concerns here, but an instant push up the ramp. You know who that is, it's Lickmoon. We're coming up right behind him.
Look at Ellie's ammo right now. Very low on the energy, needs to find somebody probably running an RE45. I'm not going to say another Havoc because I don't know who else would be. And does not seem like she's going to be able to. Swaps to the PK instead, knowing she cannot keep running this Havoc. So we'll see if that does change things up a little bit. Still looking at Addicted as well, who are outside this next ring, but are able to put some pressure here. They have a lot of space to work with. Can they rotate in? Because there's a lot of teams outside this next ring. This is not going into Lava Siphon. It is going to that no-name north area.
Yeah, just north of the crane that Lust are shooting at right now is going to be our end game focus. NG Skoden making their way onto height on the north side, sitting right on top of the building that Boo are also in, and trading shots with Addicted, who have made an alter rotate on top of the crane. A risky position this early on, and with this zone, I don't think it gets a whole lot safer for Addicted. These angles that are given onto them from the north side are causing massive problems.
I see a port here from Quieto very early because they rotated very late on this. Licks get eliminated in the kill feed. Quieto not looking too strong themselves. We'll be able to set up shop at least a little bit here because there's more people focused right now on Addicted in the position that they are in.
You see some real nice moves out of Izzy. Claim a lot of ground. G7 Peacekeeper, which I wouldn't normally note, except for that we do know that they're going up against a Caustic with an L-Star, so maybe a bit out of meta. Let's see whether winning with the PK can make this work. Spitfire 30-30 picked up, but Legacy playing
Break time.
pretty safe inside this building. With a clean rotate out available to them, it is going to be an all-in fight from Legacy. Legacy and Quieto surely going to engage. Again, Cam, R99 L-Star is going to have to put up the performance of the decade.
Crazy to see the L-Star here, but might be just a factor of what was available for Cam. Not great. Legacy, though, make their way back over here. They are just looking to peek. Good PK shots from Izzy once again. Izzy has looked good every single week so far, and would not be surprised to see her pop off in this endgame.
Just slow peeks around these fences, and Narumi buying space for the squad as well, takes an angle that'll allow her to keep the team safe should anybody decide to run at them. Phantom not so lucky, however, outside their building and knocked. Non gonna have to be picked up by the rest of the squad, while Rain stabilizes on the inside. Juve lucky to get in as well, and Addicted, who had lost one earlier, still somehow alive on this crane, but Envy gets pushed. Still got the Peacekeeper in hand, but it gets shot from right above, doesn't even see it. Addicted go down, and Lust take the crane.
They get the crane, but they're not going to stay here for very long because the ring is coming.
Oh!
Chase is the last one alive. Good.
It's worth it!
Oh my god!
Now Jace on the low ground. How many can she take out before she goes down? Clean slide onto this. Lust do fall. But that's I think 5, maybe 6 kills for Lust.
Good.
Not a bad game. Not a bad game for them at all.
Also, Oatmeal Cookie again. Clean PK shots there. Really, really good. Now we're going to see if Clean can get out of this sticky situation with the Stinger in front of them. Oh. And they do. They just do. They're just that good. How are these PK shots hitting?
God! In the air as well. D's will fall. That's 3 squads now that Clean have just, you know, said, see you next game. See you next game. See you next
Wow.
game. Insep leading the charge, and Oatmeal Cookie really laying down a lot of damage to help
The enemy is
secure these
spotting A.
kills.
Let's relocate here.
Oatmeal Cookie's just a cannon, just blowing people up.
Yeah. I mean, that PK hits hard. Insep just stealing all our kills, I swear.
Hostile, right here.
I'm not actually flaming you, Insep. Please don't.
God, please. You are so much better than me. Please.
Yeah, please. have a little bit of mercy. Now, Clean sitting dead center zone are benefiting from this
Rez?
awkward fight between Boo and NG
Oh
Skoda.
my
And
God!
Oatmeal Cookie, sometimes she just decides that she's gonna help
She
help
doesn't
escort
miss!
Boo out. Boo are gone. They don't even fire a bullet back at Clean, and now it's NG Skoden and Clean.
Oh my
Give me
goodness.
another one.
Oh, the 60
Have to
from
reload
a
one.
distance.
Reloads. Oh my god.
my
Exodia
God.
is down. She's finally shut down. Oatmeal Cookie, the Titan is slain. Is the damage done? Insup comes up. Can she secure the win for Clean?
Scan. Can't find it. PK
Doesn't have
only
high ground
12.
access either. These knockdown shields are literally everything.
Oh.
108 to the
Oh.
face, and Insup clutches it for Clean.
I forgot how exciting shotguns can be.
They're so awesome.
That was hype.
This
Oh
meta has
my.
no problems at all.
Wow. Oatmeal Cookie literally just turning and clicking on people and they fall over. Just
Yeah.
90, 60 from a distance. There was a 110 in there. Insep able to clean it up at the end too. Beautiful. Beautifully done.
Yeah, this was, I mean, that duo, Insep, Oatmeal Cookie, running around, holding hands, and making teams fall. Again, they basically dropped onto the low ground, saw the last member of Lust, and from then on, every team that they saw, they killed. So they're
Mm.
not only going to get incredible placement points off of their victory, but a crazy amount of kills with the full squads that they wiped out. I think every kill from Boo went over to Clean, who were playing low ground and who from low ground transitioned that into a win.
It's just super well done, and this was kind of what I was saying, where Clean have had their ups and downs, but when they are doing well, they are doing well. Beautifully done. And now the question does become, all right, you've done it once. Are you going to keep doing it, or was that the flash in the pan?
I'm going to say, 18 kills in a single game.
Yeah.
Taking a look at the stats a little closer. 2.7k damage out of Oatmeal Cookie. And I mean, basically, like right next to 2K for Insep and Lena, who I like. This is not Flame. When we're focusing on Oatmeal Cookie, it is because Oatmeal Cookie is crushing it. Insep and Lena, absolutely right up there with her, though. Like we said, holding hands, making the kills happen. But 2.7k damage, the stats do not lie. That is a player who is popping off, and I hope she looks this good next game.
Yeah, I when this team does well, they do really well. So I want to continue to see this. That was exciting. That was so fun to watch. I want to see them do it again.
She's got the most damage in the whole lobby right now after 3 games. 3 games in, and just because we're talking about the player stats, it's worth talking about the points as well. Yes, after that game, Clean do jump up to first place. It is their first victory of the day, which comes with an additional 12 points, which pushes them up 1 point over Angelite. 41 points to 40. We are at the halfway mark, and the difference between first and second is literally a single kill.
Yeah, I am really dude, I love women's comp, man.
It,
It's
you know,
just fun.
it's been pretty crazy today. I tell you what, we're going to give you, and more importantly, the audience, a second to recover. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more World's Edge. Welcome back to Soul League here at Celestial Cup. My name is
I'm with
Dia.
the leaderboard.
I've got Thus with me, and I'm losing my mind. Oi! I want you guys to know I am petitioning that we keep the leaderboard. If you are upset with the leaderboard, please direct your complaints to me. Misakis is very responsible and I'm sure really wants to correct it, but I am petitioning. And if you want to sign the petition, type leaderboard in chat. Let's move on to World's Edge. We've got one game left on this map and clean. Just took that game in I mean pretty clean fashion. Lava Siphon, pretty central. They came up from the south. They dominated. And they haven't really this isn't a crazy standout game for them. Yes, it is their first win, but it's not like Clean have been playing really sloppily today. They've actually been a pretty consistent team up until this point, and I'd say that for quite a few of our teams that have already gotten their wins. A lot of them aren't going out incredibly early.
Yeah, we've seen a level of consistency now. Like some of our top teams have had one like a bad game, but the other two games that they have had have been really solid. Like Angelite, Legacy, Lust. There is a level of consistency that is showing. Soulless is one of those teams though that has been kind of just struggling today. I do kind of want to point out they have swapped off of that Newcastle, so it does seem to be a pick that they seem to really just prioritize for Storm Point specifically with the lack of cover. They're running the crypto instead on World's Edge, so maybe that changes some things around, but something is just not clicking today with Solus.
Yeah, and they've got time to figure it out because just to remind everybody as we've crossed the halfway point, we are looking towards end of season at this point as well. I mean, today is obviously quite important as this is the time where you can start to cement yourself into finals. And for teams like Clean, who are sitting at 9th, having a win here might actually be enough to qualify them and guarantee them a finals slot after today alone. For a team like Antidote, however, things are a little bit more complicated. If they were just at the cutoff at 20th, a single win isn't going to be enough. They've got to instead keep themselves in top 10. Right now, Antidote sit at 6, so keep your eyes on teams like Antidote, who are landing at Thermal Station for this particular round.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of curious now with just Lava Siphon being open, what might happen with that. That is really good loot that a lot of teams might want to fight over. So that becomes a big question. Ring, though, taking us over to the western side. So we are going to get into a little bit of different territory here, not going back to Lava Siphon, likely going over towards the Mirage Etoile, Thermal Station type area where we're taking a look at Antidote right now, trying to set up their rotates out and about to try and look for some fights, likely.
Yeah, and given that you've already got Ring Scan, Legacy have hit theirs as well, and for Legacy, this is going to be pretty telling. Basically, anywhere in Thermal Station looks like a good place to set up. It's very unlikely, given the ring pull that we're seeing in the upper left, that anything pulls outside of Thermal Station proper, even though it may go up onto the high ground, it's going to be in the realm of the POI. And I like that Legacy are grouping back up, approaching things from the south, while Solis, who have already, like you mentioned, had a rough day, have picked a fight really early on with Boo.
Looking for it, and now just throwing the PK out there. Solus, I think, realizing, hey, if we want to have a good day today, we got to get some kills and we got to get them going. No EMP to be found just yet, but Techni just wants to get the vision.
Scouting for the team. Kyrie gonna jump up, but again, these PK shots just mysteriously not connecting. Can feel a little bit inconsistent, but for Solis, that's the problem they're trying to solve right now with an early engagement. Yes, it's a little bit risky, but if you can get this fight, how much more does that buy you later on into the day? Obstacle's gonna go out right on Kyrie again. quick dodge out. Nice swing by Crestep. Answers the knock with another. Kyrie's down. Techni Thermite behind her just to make sure she stays alive. And a quick retreat through the Void Nexus should get Solis the reset they need. Crestep instant portal as well to keep the squad safe once Kyrie gets back up, but that's not going to happen as Techni gets taken down as well. Boo win the fight handily. Are going to collect a little bit of KP here. I believe that was third
We got
party?
a third party.
Legacy,
yeah, Legacy.
showing up for the 3P?
They want in on this. They heard the shots, and they're another team that I think wants to see some better points on the day, and they might just do that with these shots. PK shots looking deadly from Izzy.
Izzy,
Ew.
please! Every single kill there was Izzy. I don't think she missed a PK shot in that entire engagement. I don't think a PK shot hit for less than 50 that entire engagement, unless it was the last 20 of your health bar.
Yeah, no, that was gross. Izzy just completely decimated that team single-handedly with the PK. And that's huge. Now Legacy, big wins for them, but now they've got to get going because round one is closing and a couple of these teams on the outskirts have to make their way further in to the center of the ring where we're likely going to see Clean, Boobies, Addicted, Solus, and Legacy all grouped up close together.
Sorry, who are we going to see?
Legacy, Boobies, Clean, Addicted, and Solus. You just wanted me to say it again.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it again. It's not the first. It's not the last time it's gonna happen. It is the first time that it's happened, but that's just because I think I'm getting sillier as the day goes on. I'm trying.
You're gonna say D's, and I'm gonna say D's what?
Yeah. It'll be an honorable death. Now, Lust taking a fight. This is up towards the north side against Meowth, so a chance for us to turn this around, especially since Meowth had the high ground. Lust do not seem keen on giving up any kills, any fights. Renee takes a big chunk. Can she turn this around? Renee went nuclear when we were on Storm Point. It looks like it's Scarlita's turn.
PK opening up the fight really well, going for the finish just to stop any port away from happening. And Lust grab their KP, and they're just gonna actually go for the port. They want to chase this, and I'm not surprised at all. That's very in character for Lust, but they are not gonna find anything when they get over, because that team is long gone, and they have Ash ported away as well. They're just still chasing.
There's no way.
They've
Wait,
lost him.
Did they Ash port back? They Ash port.
Oh my god, they
Ash
alter
ported
ported back.
But they alter port.
They alter ported to a different alter port. There are mind games that are just, I'm confused. I'm
And
lost
now-
and confused.
And
What
now Meowth
just
getting
happened?
Explain that to a caveman.
You would have to explain so much. It's so little. Yeah, no, you just couldn't.
Although somehow I do think that a caveman would grasp the idea of the Void Nexus. I don't know why. It's just sort of, it feels right to me. Now, Clean,
Getting a level of connection to your ancestors, maybe.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like Solis are down. What is happening with this squad? I mean, we kind of have an idea of what's happening with this squad, but still, emotionally, what is happening with this squad?
Dia was a fan.
I mean, I'm still a fan. Speaking of teams being a fan of. Alright, people.
Clean on the rotate here, gonna get the alter portal out. I'm not even gonna acknowledge it. It's not worth it.
I'm giving you rope, Tessa.
You're
you
giving me rope, and my career is about to be over. I just let you continue to do this.
No, you're fine. I've seen some crazy names in Challenger Circuit. This is like.
Oh no, trust me, I'm very aware. I casted
Yeah.
Challenger Circuit. I'm aware of some of the teams that I've.
Legacy. We're gonna, I suppose, see how this fight goes. Although given how Izzy was playing earlier, I would not be surprised to see them cook another team alive.
Just miss
yeah,
one.
I'm sorry, Serena.
Just one. Look
I don't
human.
think it's possible.
How, man? My PK hits for 12 there.
It is crazy to see Izzy doing this. However, there is precedent, right? Izzy has led in both week 1 and week 2 in damage and kills. So if anything, she's seen the first 3 games play out, and she's like, I gotta catch up now. You know, it was oatmeal cookie leading after game 2. We've got ground to make up, and Izzy's certainly doing that. Clean, speaking of oatmeal cookie, resetting on the low ground. Don't quite have a spot in zone, which is a bit awkward for them, but are pretty alone underneath this bridge after a nice Void Nexus to have escaped.
Legacy moving for them right now as they're gonna pull out the crypto drone. No EMP. Worth mentioning. Oh, the alt accelerant is going down, but the drone is destroyed, so Legacy have lost that option for the time being. Jag maybe looking for an option. So they're running through this tunnel, and Addicted about to follow suit.
And Jag will be running straight through Harvester. We saw them try and pull this off before. This time, Harvester is empty. No Magic who were there have moved down towards the bridge that Clean were at. So there's this whole traffic jam happening around Train. And that's before you even get to Addicted. We're sitting right outside of Tree, inside the train tunnel. Clean have found No Magic. Quieto have gone down. I do wonder, actually, do Clean take this fight, or do they take the Mythic Crate that just spawned behind them?
They might go for, I think the Mythic Crate is the safer option. You could get something that really gets you to win that fight. And they do have an Ash port ready to go, so they can get a emergency rotate if need be. It'll also give Incept purple once they open that as well.
That's good right now.
Oh, no. Okay, she did have it up. Okay. I was about to, like, that gives so much evo. I was going to be so surprised if she didn't get purple.
You don't take the T-Vac Tower. Never in your life do you take the T-Vac Tower in a 30-30 meta.
Oh, and yeah, one's down.
Yeah.
Lita got one.
I mean, worth, baby? I don't even... This evac tower doesn't feel like a win, but maybe it's just the best of a bad situation. No Magic do technically arrive in zone, albeit as a squad that realistically is not going to survive very long. Thirst, by the way, means that you're not getting an ultra ported back into safety, and Clean are going for the same play! It could work, though.
It could work. There's one less team looking that way, although the scout does hit, not for very much. Reload at the wrong time, and oh my goodness, that is gross that she got that much damage off of that, but will not get the shield crack, and will be Legacy getting out of their Clean on the rotate now on top. This ring is so weird.
It is. I mean, I really want to take a look at the map when we finally calm down, because there are so many teams just crammed into this side of zone. Although Clean may be able to help a little bit with the crowding that they're experiencing. Clean are right next to Addicted, who are right next to Phantom, who are right next to Legacy, who have Angelite right behind them. So it'll be a third, even fourth party situation when we start getting team wipes coming in. And Izzy is taking this game personally. Almost cleans up the kill, doesn't quite get it as Phantom Goose go right, but I think Izzy's gonna get this knock.
Oh my, she hit 3 people with that, by the way.
Finally missed a PK shot. Is human.
Broken clock is right twice a day, I guess.
I suppose so. Narumi pretty low, but Legacy seem perfectly comfortable with this. Lick Moons, however, very uncomfortable as they've been taken down. And Angelite start looking at Legacy. It's a two-way street, unfortunately. When you start looking at Legacy, they start looking at you. And if there's one team whose gaze I'd want to avoid this game, it is Legacy. This zone pulling us out of a lot of thermal station as well. So teams like Antidote that we talked about, who land in thermal, now will finally have to adapt.
All right. Off topic, but this is a little bit of a personal though. Ellie, we gotta figure out a secondary gun that you're gonna stick with, because we're running the car, we were running the Havoc, you had the PK for a little bit. Like, we gotta find one and stick with it, girl.
Ellie just picks up a gun. She's.
I mean, that is unironically, like, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense based on, you know, how I know Ellie, but like also, like, let's lock in, girl.
Let's lock in. Still got a few games to do it. Illusion. Climbing on D's.
These what?
There we go. That's what I'm saying. I can't do that to you, though. I can't do that to you.
Yeah, no, I fear it's a little different.
Yeah. It doesn't feel polite. Maybe a little bit later as the games get sillier. I appreciate it. These do jump right on top of Illusion, though. These teams following each other a little too closely. And for D's being on blue shield, this is a very risky spot to be in. Vino, yeah, eats the PK shot from underneath and does almost go down. The danger of playing on the rails like that, but stays up for now. Next ring pull gonna make this even more dangerous as Legacy in their fight finally up against Angelite. Do have Addicted looking at them from behind. This could be the end of Legacy. They may have bitten off more than they can chew. Izzy goes down as Addicted strike from behind, and it is Angelite and Addicted collaborating to take out Legacy.
It is so unfortunate because, again, we're seeing crazy PK shots. Witty's actually, no, they're fighting each other a little bit. Witty cannot survive. Angelite get the win. D's are eliminated first. Legacy go down. We're down to 8 squads. None of these squads are in the next ring.
None of them feeling too good about this. I will note as well that we've lost Antidote on the way. The squad that dropped Thermal was sitting 6th at the start of this game. Don't make it past 8. Still a big day for them if they can keep top 10, and that's going to be the big test off of this game. Yoimono do help eliminate Clean, and 135 is really going to keep some other squads off you. Angelite not peeking that one anymore. Yoimono with plenty of time to reset on the low ground, time that Lust do not have. Renee manages to survive momentarily, dipping onto the low ground. But how long-lived can Lust really be with Jag all over him? 3 ways from Sunday inside the smoke. Renee turns around with the RD45, but does not find the cook. And Lust starts striking back. Scarlita still on high ground, drops down for the commit. Might be able to take out Jag. This is all Scar.
She got the heal off from the skirmisher passive. She's gonna dip. She's gonna leave. She's going to leave because she wants to get her team back up. It's not worth taking the fight. Recognizes that it's better to have that third person. Angelite don't have that third person currently because Ellie is on the ground and the shields are feeling a little bit of pain.
This is arguably a fight for the win. Whoever wins, Angelite and Addicted has high ground. High ground is incredibly hard to challenge. Angelite now have all 3 back up, and they peek this 3, taking out Addicted. Angelite win the fight for the high ground. The only other team that's even up here right now is Lust, who backed off, who reset, and who are looking for a way to close this game out. Lust jump on forward. Renee does connect for the knock with the last second of the flatline, and now takes the portal forward once again. Void Nexus goes out. Lust look for the reset. Renee full thirsted. Angelite looking at this as Lust commit to the fight. Angelite know there is a wounded squad on the low ground and swoop in to take their 2nd win of the day.
Angelite not only get a really easy win, they stole those kills from Lust at the end. Fishy got 2 of those. One with the Stinger, one with the charge rifle. They just got that for free after winning from Addicted. And Addicted gave them so much time to reset. That is crazy they get away with that.
That is crazy. I'm really impressed with Angelite's now 2nd win. Duplicating this is huge. I will say, it's also what you would expect from the squad that won week 1, who's currently in 1st place in the league overall. Replicating these wins bodes really well for them for the finals.
Yeah,
And Angelite do continue to impress.
Yeah. They have been playing together, I think, as players for a bit, so they're very comfortable with each other. I think this team has also just as a unit improved. Each of these players has just improved over the last couple of months, and that's coming to this point right now where they are really scary to go up against. Now, we are still here at this point where Angel Light don't need to do well today. They have been, but it's not necessary for them.
And let's take that and start talking about the teams who it is necessary for, because now we finished
Mhm.
2/3 of our games. Angelite still leading the pack right now, or rather, having just taken over leading the pack is what I should say. Leading the pack once again, given how they've been playing throughout the last couple of weeks. But for teams like Antidote, who very much need to place top 10 today, they've dipped down from 6th to 7th. A team to look out for. Teams like Illusion also in that bucket. Illusion currently sits 20th. They were just outside of qualification range coming into today, sitting at 8th. And now they're in 20th. That's a very dangerous spot to be, Tessa.
Yeah, it is not not the day that you wanted or needed to have. And Illusion just have not gotten their feet under them. I don't know what the plan is going to be because you realistically, you're hoping for like a good game to get up into 10th. There's no way you're going to get anywhere near that top 4 at this point in the last 2 games. Unless there is some absurd level of just crazy kill farming that Illusion just somehow do. But man, it's a tough spot to be in for Illusion. Also, want to point out like teams like Addicted as well, who I believe also are up there. Clean, Addicted, Licks today have looked really solid, and I think have gotten themselves to at least a point where they can feel comfortable that finals might be in view for them.
Yeah, Phantom looking okay right now, sitting at 9th. You do want to hit top 10 today. But with the top 10 performance, Phantom may be able to hold on. All this wild and crazy play, though, that's what we can look forward to on E District. And I think we are going to be jumping right into E District. Did I hear that right, Tessa?
Yeah.
We're full sending it. We're full sending
Yep.
it. That's what's
We're
up.
full sending it. We are going straight into E District. Buildings galore. My favorite map to watch personally, because I like watching cluttered, crazy end games. And I think it's really funny when Caustic is meta in this kind of a map.
Yeah, this can get out of hand extremely quickly. A lot of caustic gas in an end zone on E District, especially with Alter being here. I mean, Alter, even before she became absolutely must pick, was still really
Mhm.
good on E District. And now, she's gone from must pick to still incredibly strong and likely pick. Eh, You're going to be seeing with her, with Caustic, just a lot of ridiculous stuff that you wouldn't get to see otherwise.
Yeah. Solas are picking the fuse, by the way. We have a Revenant on Kieto.
No,
Okay.
no.
We're just kind of going a little silly. I that
It,
caught me off guard. Sorry.
it is the time. It is the time. In the last
It
two
is.
games, that's your moment to start getting a little silly with it and start, matching. I actually want to take a look because we checked in game 3. How many kills did Lust end up picking up in
A
game
lot.
4?
A lot.
14 kills. 14 kills.
That is a lot of kills. They've been farming today, and they are taking no prisoners. So we do load in. Clean over near Galleria. And I also want to point out Addicted by City Hall. Again, 2 of those teams that have been on the bubble for finals placement. Want to see them do well today. Likely getting a Western ring. Nope, I'm wrong. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm
That's all
talking
right.
about.
I've got some fun stats for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's one fun stat. You know how we were talking about Lust and the amount
Yep.
of kills they have?
Yep.
Lust are sitting in 2nd right now. if you take away all of their placement points that they've earned all day, they're fourth. That's wild to me. Is that wild to anyone else?
That is wild, but I'm also not surprised. What you see is he running towards that shotgun, that shotgun arsenal. I would imagine wants to pick that up there when given a chance, taking a look, seeing if she can get that blue shield. But yep, shotgun arsenal up, took the PK. Gonna be waiting a little bit for that. Take the Mozam so you get the evolve. Well, you wait. Yep. Wait for it. Wait for it.
I like
the PK will
I
come
like
back
that
eventually.
tech. You get the
Oh,
shotgun
yeah.
bolt. You wait for the PK. You know, there's no need to get fancy with it. Just grab what you need, move on. It's a nice early game start for Legacy. Humbert Labs. Hey, the fact is normally you'll see a lot of teams fight around here because nobody landed Old Town. Legacy have a much calmer game than most teams landing Humbert would.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of what can just happen with the random POIs. And again, it is just really interesting to see how teams adapt, because you do just, no one's going to unless it's the POI that they like to land on already, no one's going to have loot paths figured out realistically. No one's going to know how to rotate from place to place just inherently, or at least have practice doing it. There is a level of kind of adaptability that you need to have, especially because you might just end up near a team like Lust that are just going to throw fists at you regardless of who you are next to them.
I'm looking at the ring right now because we talked about it earlier. This one is going to be pulling, again, first ring largely pretty central, but then up a little bit closer to Lotus, Galleria, Addicted already your center zone, Dagger moving up there. But this zone actually opens things up for teams that like to play Ring 3, because you can play for Ring 3 in Energy Bank, in Galleria, and in City Hall. So from the east, south, and west side, you can play for Ring 3 really effectively. What teams end up posting up there and playing for third beacon information is going to be, I think, one of the more interesting things to watch this game, because they should have a massive advantage in the later game.
Mm-hmm. I also think it's really interesting to see just the teams that have correctly predicted this ring versus the teams that haven't, because we have Addicted, Illusion, Jag, Licks, Antidote, Lick Moons are currently setting up in Neon Square on that western side, seeming to think that the ring is going to pull there. And fair enough, I thought it was too. But we are seeing a lot of the top teams go to this ring correctly, whether they had the ring information or they just know the ring.
NG Skoden are going to be so confused, by the way. Yoimono as well, because they've both come out of POIs that actually had Beacon. They're just going to walk into what seems to them like two random teams posted up in the middle of nowhere. And,
yeah. Ooh.
Well, resulting in some early kills. Wow. Lust?
What a name.
Actually in danger of going down.
The PK into nade is kind of a combination that you're just... I want to say you have to be ready for, but you can't. You just can't really be ready for that level of damage.
Youth on the warpath now. Actually, some decent fights last game, but still not as clean as they would like, especially for how aggressively the team has been playing. I think it does say something that Meowth are starting a lot of fights, but they aren't finishing a lot of them. Call the shot throughout their next couple of games. Guys scouting with the port, seeing their way in, threatening a breach, but still playing conservatively. They've got to swing this together if they're going to swing it at all.
Throw down the smoke to just try and take away these caustic barrels. They're looking, see a shadow, not gonna get the shot though, and team is just gonna port away. They know that is not a bad, or that is not a good place to be, rather. And Meowth are just gonna look as that team rotates out. Nope, they're gonna go for it.
The 130-30 shot, you may as well. Meowth with an Eva from behind. Still have not found a knock, but turnaround on them. Things look iffy. Iza goes low. stays up for now. Inside
Oh,
zone,
no.
however, Meowth are ticking down. And they are once again picking fights that are very difficult to finish. That nade is dangerous. And Clean even come in for the third party, helping, you know, finish off some early kills. Although we won't see them actually fully eliminate either squad.
Crazy to see Meowth actually get out of that. I was sure they were going to go blasting off again. They do survive, however. Lust playing a little bit aggressive once again. I say a little bit, and, you know, I don't think a little bit aggressive ever fits the mold for Lust.
That Skull Piercer unlocked. Feeling pretty good for Scar. Legacy hoping for some fights of their own as well. The teams that are committing to edge play are really committing, and Lust and Legacy fighting up against each other, that is a matchup I want to see on my screens, and it seems to be coming to us very, very soon. Iza still fighting. Meowth committing, even with the amount of damage they took in their previous fight, and NG Skoden look for a fight as well. Again, it's early enough that if you do just commit for a fight, people aren't really going to third party you, and Nessie feels that. Nessie feels that a little too close to the sun.
I don't think Nessie's feeling anything anymore. It's over for Nessie. Does get fully thirsted, and NG Skoden pad the stats, get the KP. What NG Skoden are very capable of doing. If this team can snowball, Ren is very capable of running over other players. Soulless, again, I pointed this out when we got into game, running the Fuse, and I think Fuse is actually really solid on E-District. Some people may disagree with me, but the cluster grenade being able to get inside of buildings and break doors very easily, it's a lot of damage that's hard to get away from.
Yeah, you can do quite a bit in the very
break
little
caustic
space
barrels.
E-District has. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. See what Solis make of that, as this high ground, not bad for Caustic either. Also the Havoc, not your typical ranged weapon, but 120 hitting for flesh does look pretty good on Cresta.
Kyrie needed to jump into the shot.
You know, I'm gonna share in the glory. Maybe even
Exactly.
get a little bit of knock. This triple take could be huge, actually. If you can get a
Oh,
triple
yeah, they
take
won it.
up on this high ground, you're juicing.
They
That's
won
not
it
a word.
for
People won't say that.
sure. No, they do. They do. You're juiced.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, that's fine.
You're hip with it.
Yeah, that's what I said something so cringe the other day. I what it was, just for you and for
Alright.
everyone watching. But for the moment, we'll think about what NG Skoden are up to. Grabbing a little bit of Evo on their way in. Has not been a bad game plan so far, but now let's put them up against Licks on the way. 19 squads, so teams really avoiding falling early as they know these are the last 2 games of the day. But there is only so much you can do when the zone is forcing you in, and Legacy are going to be the beneficiaries of that, as they're already in zone and picking fights with other teams that are already here as well. Izzy goes for the instant 2-shot. Unfortunately, Kitty Rat did not spot the window next to her. And Legacy should be able to, off of that first pick, close out the fight pretty well with how they've been playing today. 99, not to the face, but to the body.
Close range, long range, like what can she not do? Like, I don't understand. Legacy is gonna go inside, hits the PK shot, and now they're getting third party. This is not a good place for them.
I do hope that Izzy survives, given the awesome play that we've seen out of her lately. But Lust are the ones that come in and actually get to really reap the rewards of the fight that Legacy just set up for them. A few nades in here to finish off the kills. Play, again, a little conservatively, but Lust are not going to mind the loot they just got away with. There's even a mythic crate right next door that they can capitalize on, but Antidote are in the area and Licks are coming up. So we do have to be worried about really any team that approaches this mythic crate without proper setup. Lust, immediate back off, maybe a bit odd, but I like the play that they're making. Negative rotate, play edge again, reset, and do the same thing to other teams.
Yeah. Looking again. Want to get their big payday, but have not landed it just yet. Healing up. 30-30 actually hitting. This team has reset really solidly, but they are taking a lot of damage in the fight. They've got to get back to cover.
Great portal out. It's going to be a very safe one since it puts you right behind the bus. Keeps Meowth alive. It's still on the edge of zone. This is the big problem for Meowth. Basically, they've got to run in a straight line, but as they do, they'll be flanked on both sides. NG Skoden are coming up from the south. Illusion, Boobies, Clean, and Phantom all coming down from the north.
Illusion have struggled a lot today. Want to try and get a little bit of their just desserts. Might be on the run once again. Their just confidence has not been there. Meowth would have put enough pressure on to get inside of this ring, and now with the EVA 8 throwing out some flesh damage, but they're getting pushed from behind. They got to turn around.
Taking some notes out of APAC North, actually. The Eva really working for her until, of course, the Bangalore puts a very, very clear
Just
stop
not
back.
do well
Clean.
into missiles.
Yeah, Clean are gonna go down. And I will say Yoimono went down earlier as well, so that's why we're out to 16 at the moment. Oatmeal Cookies showing up in the kill feed. You know, that means nice Peacekeeper shots are coming through. But Meowth stabilized. And this is not the first time that they've done it. This is like the third reset they've taken this game. And Meowth are actually staying alive really well in our fourth game of the day. Phantom are taken down. Lust looking for their next fight up near Addicted and NG Skoden on the western side of the ring.
You would be wise to follow.
Lust on the edge of the ring where they like to be, but they need to find people to kill. There is not enough blood in the water. And Lust are going to go searching, go hunting. NG Skoden maybe trying to find a little bit less blood in the water. Hoping for the port back, and will be able to get it A-okay. But can they get themselves a reset in time?
Careening through the air into center zone. We did mention this.
Is this where you want to go?
They had an
I don't know
idea
if this is the play.
yeah, I'm putting in air quotes, God spot, but it doesn't look like that worked out too cleanly. So
Heaven is populated right now. Do not land there.
that was tough. That was tough. Solis still holding on to that though.
That was the Greek gods were all out today.
I'm not kidding. Hold on. I'm gonna have to do my homework to understand the Greek gods reference. I know I'm letting
There's
you
just
down.
a lot of them. There's just a lot of them.
There's
That's
just,
all
I
there is.
understand. I understand. Lust are going to fall. Solis, great cleanup for them, and exactly the kind of turnaround we want to see from this squad. Being able to hold high ground against Lust, one of the best frag teams of the day so far, is fantastic for Solis. And having survived all the way up to 12th as Licks go down, make it 11th as Antidote fall as well, and no magic. We may be saying goodbye to them. We're seeing a lot of teams start to gain placement points extremely quickly, and will she live? Will she live? Legacy go down. We made it to top 10.
Somehow, some way. Oh,
I was literally about to say they live.
that was a PK, by the way. That was a PK from that distance.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, that was crazy there. Look at the upgrade as well. Solus on their rotate as well, because the ring is gonna start moving into the middle of... This is somehow we found a place where there's no buildings. Map.
Even on E-District, I mean, that is incredibly rare. Solis careening forward. This team has clearly found their confidence. Between last game and this one, they've gone, you know what? We actually ran this game pretty well. Let's go ahead and take fights while we can. They push up towards Meowth, but Meowth hold a creative angle. There are actually two members of Meowth sitting right underneath Solis, and just one that was able to deal all that damage to force a reset. Very cool, very adaptive play by Meowth, but Solis take the angle again.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to point out, too. Just, again, Solus. Everybody else runs the Ash, which has that one-way port. Solus opt for the Wraith, where they can go back and forth, have that flexibility to go look for a port, it might not be a good port. Let's go back. If you want to try and take an angle, port back to where your god spot was. They've been using this Wraith incredibly well, and it's very clear that they don't just want to push, they want to be smart about how they move.
Certainly been so. Illusion and Addicted falling. Two teams that currently sit outside of qualification range into the finals. NG Skoden take up to the high ground, and through a Thermite have still managed to survive on low for a long time. They've been in this river for ages, and with so many teams finding shots on them earlier, it's impressive that they've been able to survive this long. We'll see how far they make it from here. Angelite in a building that you won't catch me stepping foot into, not for a very long time. Kyrie with the Stinger Bolt helps escort Meowth from the lobby. That's a collaboration between Kieto and Solus that takes them out. But Meowth finally shut down. Even their 9 lives were nothing else.
Angelite getting a knock from the Stinger Bolt here onto Kieto, and they're just going to throw down nades, trying to get that kill. Ellie tanking some gas here. Can't get the kill, and they just cannot stay outside for too long. They will get a lot of damage, a lot of just competing fire from multiple areas.
Gibbet still resetting on the low ground, and with Newcastle as well. It's not, if you don't take the out, they're going to survive. Solus making it into the portal. Barely. Crestep gets immediate assistance from everyone.
Almost kills Dia in the process.
Oh my god, I forgot they were running rapid. Oh, it doesn't matter. My bad. My bad. I didn't mean to talk about that. Gyato's still technically alive. NG Skoden, not as fortunate, but Angelite keeps poking down onto Kieto and will finally find this full wipe.
Ellie's calling for assistance.
Yeah, it's just not easy to take out, but finally Kieto are exterminated on the low ground. Angelite clean their backs and now have D's and Jag fighting right next to them. There is a mess of altar portals that D's are fighting through. Somehow they stabilize, taking out Jag, and we're into the top 3 squads, all full squads. Solus have finally made it. Have they solved their problems? Will this be the game that Solus come back?
I think it might be, because they have crazy amounts of control over this ring. The ring is pulling a little bit away from them, but they have almost half of this here. The question does become, though, do the nades and the long-range poke become enough of a problem? Kree is going to look for this rotate with the port, realizes there's not a good way to get out of here. We've got to hang out here and hope we can win this fight.
Angelite pushed Solus, and now you want to avoid the pressure from D's who have come in on the third party. Solus have nowhere to go. This portal is doomed. Kyrie gets up on top of the bus, somehow still alive for now as Crestep weaves inside of the fight, takes the Ash portal out of it, but survives with the one tick of caustic gas is going to take Crestep out. One tick, does she get too close? With the Havoc cooking inside the knockdown shield, D's take the shotgun out and end Solus's run, securing the win in game number 5.
Somehow Angelite take out Solus while being out of the game and don't get the KP for it. That Ash port not only killed Angelite, it also killed Solus there going in. That was unfortunate, but really good for D's to be able to have that patience. Angelite went a little bit early to take out Solus, I think not realizing the team they were going to be up against. And D's, not only a first place finish, but 11 kills. Not bad for a team that has been relatively quiet on the day.
That was honestly really fantastic. Solus, that was a huge comeback game for them. And I actually, can I do this? I'm not going to do the math. It's pushed them up a lot. It's pushed them up 7 spots on the leaderboard. There we go. Overstat did the math for me. Shout out Overstat. We've still got 1 game left. But as of right now, our cutoff for top 10 is Yoimono, who sit with 26 points. Meowth, interestingly, who had a much better game this time around, sit right behind them by 2 points. So Meowth with a chance to make it into top 10 and push themselves all that much closer to finals qualification. It's been a tight day. It's going to get very, very stressful on our last game of E-District, which we will return to after a short break.
My
And we are back for the final game of week 3 here in Soul League at Celestial Cup. E District is going to be our final map, keeping with the 2-2-2 tradition that we set at the very start of the day. And Tessa, game 5 was a lot. The D's win was huge. The solely second place absolutely changing the narrative for this team. Now to see if they can keep that up, and Meowth, with one of their best placements, have pushed themselves 2 points outside of top 10.
Yeah, things are a little hectic and all over the place right now because we are just like D's getting a win, just jumping up into fifth all of a sudden after kind of a slower day for them. Huge 23-point game. Yeah, that now puts them in the conversation. Now, Angelite, on the other hand, they are still far ahead of everybody else. Lust, a distant second at 61 points. Clean, also fairly distant from second. So like things feel kind of figured out until you get to fourth place, and then it gets a little bit more scary, especially when you consider these teams that are fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh not as likely to get a win, but if they do, the point differential becomes massive.
I'm just contrasting this as we get into the game with the teams that are already qualified. And there are a couple of big standouts in terms of squads that are in our top 10 right now that are not already locked in for the finals. We have Antidote in ninth place, struggling for their spot in the top 10. We have D's in fifth place, and we've got Addicted in eighth. And the last team that looks to be securing their spot today, and I don't think this game can change that, is Clean. Clean, we're sitting in ninth overall, not locked in for the finals. Today, being in third should be more than enough to lock them in.
Definitely. Yeah, I would expect Clean have had a really good day. Better than I think they have had throughout a lot of the last couple of weeks, and I'm really happy and excited because I think obviously we've seen Insep is a very experienced player, and on top of that, Oatmeal Cookie, who is a relatively new player to my knowledge, is just hitting hard. Like these PK shots are disgusting.
Yeah, Yoimono, also one of the squads to keep your eyes on because they are sitting as sort of the gatekeepers right now. I mean, Clean, like you're talking about with Oatmeal Cookie, has clearly passed this "you must be this tall to ride." Yoimono are the last team, or the most recent team, to have qualified. They're sitting at 51 points overall in the league. So they are the gatekeepers, as it were, for what you're going to be able to do, how far you're going to be able to make it, will you push into finals. As of right now, they are also the team in 10th place, which means that Meowth, Phantom, Lix, No Magic are all looking for their spot. Like you talked about, Clean have clearly showed us that today they are tall enough to ride. Who else can actually meet that bar? Who could pass Uaimono, who are the gatekeepers of finals right now?
All right, Dia. So like I know there is a height difference between us, but I cannot have us talking about like barrier of entry
Discriminatory
from
height
height. Like
measures
right, yeah,
taken by
yeah. Like
Microsoft.
this is like I know that if we cast together in person, I will need multiple boxes to just meet you at eye level.
I do not remember you being that short.
I mean, like you're just tall, at least as
I
far
mean,
as I remember.
no, Zephyr is tall.
No,
Zephyr's like
Zephyr is tall.
Zephyr's like I
Because
don't.
how
He's
tall
like
are you?
9 feet or something. I'm like
Oh,
I'm 5'10". He's not actually 9 feet.
5'10".
I just
Okay, you're not as tall as I actually. You're not as tall as I'm
yeah,
5'6".
yeah. I think
So there is still a difference.
yeah. There is. You might need one box, but even then, it can be a short box. I think we're good. I think we're good.
There we go with short again. Okay, we're just bringing it back up.
You know what? I'm canceled. It's over.
Get the twit longer. Throw
Exactly.
this man out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we are
we
ruining
debate my
careers today.
tenuous stay in Apex Legends. let's uh let's take a look around the map. Start talking about E District real quick, if only to get me out of the pickle that I've really put myself in with these tall enough to ride jokes. Angelite, the beneficiaries of this particular zone, up along with Licks and Boobies, who are going to be in the northwest. I keep messing up my cardinal directions. Northwest of this lobby zone, actually taking us pretty close into City Hall, which will be very, very important. We like to talk about who's got ring console. No Magic, who are down at Blossom, have ring console. Licks at Boardwalk have ring console. Angelite at City Hall notably do not, but Boobies at Resort do. So Angelite, team to watch this game.
Definitely looking a very similar ring to what we had in our last game. So we might get some similarities and some rotations here, at least from where one team is going to the next. Because again, remember, random POIs. City Hall, where the ring is kind of centralized right now, and that's also centralized on Angelite, our team that is already in top place. So I don't think they could really ask for much better.
Probably doing super well. Lust have gone down to Humbert, which is a little bit more awkward of a position, given they've now got Kieto right next to them, and Legacy, one of the other teams that I've been having fun watching today, have rolled Lotus this game, which is very interesting. I think that when you are a comp team, when you are used to 3-stacking, and especially playing at this level, I'm expecting you to know how to make the most of Lotus, because it is one of the most powerful POIs on the map.
Definitely. Solus have so desperately, I think, wanted to just really roll one of these games and see if they're going to do that. Techni taking a lot of opening damage here. We'll get some shields back up, but that's a lot of flesh damage done in return, too.
Solis clearly undaunted over that caustic
Maybe a
barrel
little
is going
daunted.
to- yeah, now it's free
Slightly
dawn.
daunted.
That's definitely DK. Looking pretty good, but Solis are really just hoping for an opener right now. Clearly the damage they've done is enough to push in, but there's some great defensive play going on from NG Scope, who, as a reminder, started the day as a duo and did quite well, even on Stormpoint.
Yeah, they are a team that is never going to say die, and they are definitely a team that wants to take fights, and they're taking this one. Kriya's gone down. Techni lost some shields, and Solus maybe limping a little bit right now.
This is exactly how Solus tried to get momentum going in game number 1. And wow, it may be still how we're getting momentum in game number 2. Exodia has fallen. NG Skoden, the numbers are now even. Kyrie healing up on the low ground is going to get some backup.
Oh no.
Riddick gets finished off. NG Skoden lose control of the fight. Kyrie still being chased down. And Solus are not on the same page about this. They're not playing in the same area. If Kyrie goes down, it's going to be pretty doomed for Solus to have to take the 1v1. It's not a coin flip. You want to take this early in the game. But the 2 KP, that is going to feel pretty good. If both teams disengage now, I think they both come away relatively happy. NG Skoden got something. Solus got something. You want to live. There are still 20 squads up, and it's the last game.
Yeah, I think Solus taking the smart route there of, hey, we got our 2 KP, and they left. Let's not risk this. They can reset. It's whatever. But KP is huge for them right now. Taking a look at Lust, who have gotten a scan off here. Solus getting the reset. Very A-okay, as Kree will get all of her loot back, and then some, thanks to her team's extra efforts.
Super nice reset, and like we talked about, NG Skoden not bothered about having to disengage here as well. The difference maker is going to be whether they can actually reset, because NG Skoden disengaging is one thing, finding a reset is another. As they move out towards the north, I believe Electro Down should be the place for some safety, something that Kieto and Lust don't really have, as this Humbert Old Town fight, a tale as old as time, is going to go down once again. Lust picking up the first couple of kills, actually have this going their way, which leaves Kieto as the team that wants to disengage, and again, should be able to do so. Heading down towards Old Town, Kieto should be able to get out of this pretty unbothered, and Lust get their path into the ring with 2 KP.
So this is round 1, so it's not really a worry in terms of the ring damage yet. However, the ring distance may become a problem for Quieto depending on how long they stay in that ring, because they are at Old Town. Ring is taking us up towards Boardwalk Town Hall area. That is on the northeast side, and if Quieto take too long in the ring getting that reset, they are going to be going through ring 1 and ring 2 to get back in, and that is a gatekeep you don't want to have to deal with because your meds will be stretched thin.
Yeah, going through ring 1, then ring 2, and then finding out if anyone's gatekeeping you. Not the kind of gamble you want to be taking in your last game of the day.
Just put it all on green, right? Like just throw the roulette ball. Come on, 0-0.
Honestly, even trying to play zone right now has got to be tough. Because up in City Hall, there are so many different pulls that can be taken. In fact, I don't even know if some of these teams are going to make it. Legacy right now, who are unabashedly fighting set for zone.
Dude.
Oh, Izzy is actually. I think I'm going to look at the player stats.
It's not real.
I need to know the stats.
It's not
Because
real.
Earlier today, who was leading in damage? Oatmeal Cookie was leading in damage.
Oatmeal Cookie was...
Where is Izzy right now?
I think Jace was also leading at one point, but Izzy might be back. Izzy may be back.
Ellie from Angel Light is leading the lobby right now.
Ellie,
8.3K.
that also makes sense. Yeah, Ellie is a beamer. She will hit people hard.
Izzy's got 2,600 damage to make up, assuming that Ellie does 0 damage this game.
Which I don't think is the case.
Izzy's doing it. Izzy's doing it. Oh, Izzy's doing it. Oh, never mind. She stopped doing it. We'll see what else. We'll see what happens when she gets back up. But that's a lot of damage. When you're doing 100 a pump, all of a sudden 2.7 doesn't feel that impossible. When he comes in, helps clean up the fight. Is one shot left.
Oh
and
my.
Phantom go down. Legacy never in doubt that they could clutch that.
Can we just change this team's name to the Peacekeepers? Because like they just hit every gosh diddly darn shot. It is it is disgusting that Legacy are just able to hit every PK shot, and then you have Oatmeal Cookie who's also doing that. Like I forget how much like a shotgun meta, even though I hate playing shotgun, how fun it can be to watch.
I actually really, I'm gonna contact Overstat about this to see if we can get an accuracy stat per player, because some of the, like you're talking about, I think Izzy is one of those players, Oatmeal Cookie is one of those players today, that even if they're not, even if they don't finish the day putting up the most damage, I am sure that they will have some of the highest accuracy with the weapons, because every time we cut to them, it is just 100, 100, 100. Banger, banger, banger.
Quieto on the move, able to get out of ring 1. We said that was step number 1. Now they have ring 2 at their backs right now. How much have they stocked up on meds? Did you drop by the pharmacy before the ring started to close? Because it might hurt if you stick around a little too long.
That's already starting with the pharmacy jokes. Oh.
Yeah, we're 2 days as a pharmacy tech, and all of a sudden...
All of a sudden, it's the whole thing. It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I can't wait. They're gonna get more specific.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna start dropping like the names of medication.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, going up against Solis, I think you're gonna need a little bit of extra something, because Crest Step already hits us with 100 to start
Pack
things
up the
off,
acetaminophen. We're gonna need it.
Yeah, exactly. This is how we're gonna be calming fights from now on. Legacy in a fight as well.
They're
This
in
one,
ring.
however, not really hitting. Not really hitting.
They're tanking a lot of ring and gas damage. Oh, they're gonna heal back up, but man, Legacy are still just really on the edge here, and there's 4 or 5 teams that are here. Kieto, Legacy, Meowth are still in the ring right now.
Makes it good to fight this too. It's not like they're focusing on the rotate. They're focusing on eliminating as many squads as humanly possible. Izzy using 800 grenades into the building and manages to get everyone out of it. Give me 100. Yes,
Good.
we do. Izzy gets taken down. It is a trade, but remember, she's on that kill race, so you gotta be respectful here. Now it's up to the room in flesh.
The race
1v2,
may
not
be
gonna
over.
happen.
It will be.
Legacy gets shut down.
That is tough there. I loved the idea, and honestly, I hate to say it, but the fact those 2 early PK shots on that swing around to the back of the building missed, I think was the game changer. It should not have to come down to that, because those were hard shots to hit. But if Izzy hits those PK shots like she's hit all the others, that's a win for Legacy. Not able to do it this time around, and that will be the end of Legacy for today.
But what good news for Illusion. Sitting at 18th, being able to take out Legacy and be now the only team approaching from the south side of the ring is fantastic. Oh, Meowth and NG Skoden going down. Tough for Meowth, who were sitting in 11th starting this game and now have no chance of making top 10.
Clean. Also in very good position. All of the good spots in where this ring is pulling have been claimed. It now will have to be shared living for some of these teams if they want to get involved.
Clean holding on to the, right now, second floor of this building. Triple take in hand. It looks good at face value, but how much is it actually going to matter when we get into the end game, like where Boo are sat right now? Check out their position in zone. You already know it's going to be fantastic, and they got lit through it, and Amy gets taken down. No magic do fall, but Boo in a spot where now they have to reset while theoretically being pushed by a team. Let's see what ends up happening here.
Reset will hit. Boo back up.
Right in the middle of zone.
Yeah, this is not bad if Boo are given the time, and they kind of have to be given the time because there are so many teams here. If one team moves, it's a domino effect. Another team's gonna push. There's gonna be too much action until somebody decides to stop the cycle.
I'm manifesting this right now. 2 of the teams that are in the next zone are Boo and Boobies. If we end up getting a Boo versus Boobies endgame zone, I've peaked. It's over. That will be one of the most fantastic endgame calls to make. I don't know how you're going to do it.
Oh, door's gone.
That's okay. She's got a Kraber. A Kraber and an R99.
These are crazy opportunities here. No scope Kraber into the R9 could go really hard for A. Looking for. She heard me. She heard me. The ring is moving though, and Renee's taking a lot of damage from it.
Walk straight to a Peacekeeper as well. It is so doomed. It is so over. Lust get taken down. An Illusion again from the bottom of the leaderboards. Strike back. This unfortunately will be their end. And Illusion go down in 13th. But they took out 2 highly positioned teams in this last game. So a little bit of hope for them. They're not going to make top 10, sure. But
a little bit of hope for them. Also, like, smooth sailing for Angelite now. Those 2 teams going down means like, yeah, we don't got to worry about a thing. We are just kind of locked into first place in today as well. They won week 1. Now winning another week, that's honestly, they look really good. Antidote do get eliminated. Licks having to get the reset right now as the Bangalore ulti having to be expended just to get teams away.
As Jag falls, we're now into the top 10. The lobby's starting to speed up as teams realize that it's not just about survival now. It's about cleaning up the few kills that are even left to try and scramble as far up the leaderboard as possible. There is very little that you can do once you, wow, get into a final zone.
It's like a long-range
Kills.
shotgun.
That was bonkers. She just really did that. Oatmeal Cookie, no shield, somehow alive behind this bus, and gets out with the altar portal, and resets the team.
One team,
Addicted,
one
yeah,
team
they,
member.
they get this bus, but that's huge.
They are stuck as a duo now because one of the team members did get fully finished. Addicted do get a little bit of something for their troubles, but they don't want to be here. This is not where the ring's going, and they've got a team in the building in front of them and Solus below them.
Sort of an Ash Portal angle. The Wraith that we've been tracking all day actually working out here for Solus as they get into the bottom floor and again have the option to retreat. Taking out Void Nexi is what we're going to go with. Solus scramble for what could be a win. They got second place last game. They have stabilized massively on E-District. This team looked like they were in free fall during the first couple of games and now are really starting to dial in their form, even with the roster change-up that you mentioned at the start. Clean as a duo, still sat inside the zone. No Caustic to defend this building, but they've got a squad right above them that they can share space with.
Taking a look outside. Seeing that solo. Oh my god,
Nice.
that was disgusting. They might die to this, but you know what? I actually think the clip's worth it.
Steph actually does a great job of defending for now, but the knockdown shield not extremely powerful at this point. Grenade is gonna do it though. Goodbye, Lady Pexi. Incep keeps the team alive. Clean. Still looking for their chance to reset. Pexi gets scouted out. Incep goes for the no-scope and hits it with the Sentinel. That's two members down. Surely you get this reset
No,
off.
please.
But no, getting pushed. Sentinel, again looking for the no-scope. In they go. Clean are finally down as Envy comes in to take them out. Addicted, clean up another squad, moving us into top 8.
That was so upsetting. I wanted Incep to win that. That was going to be crazy. Ellie caught out here. Hits the shield back. Angelite do not have good shields. They're not going to hit purple as this ring starts to close.
Yeto having spotted Angelite with the Sparrow Dart. Now noted, even as a duo, the team has to exit zone. Can't really shoot back at them. A little bit of damage done, so not enough to actually find any kills. Angelite, a little bit safer. This is final zone though. 8 squads in right now, and we are going to be dropping them very fast. Roman's Gallop does go down as Ducks completely slams Boobies with the Peacekeeper and immediately gets taken down as Addicted are focused. Lady Pexi extremely low falls as well. 6 squads left. D's still up, sharing space with Boo as Angelite fall.
They're inside the building, and they need to get Vino back up. Luckily, this is the final ring. Goes real slow. They'll get scanned, but I think they're A-okay with that for now. Boo up above. Able to just sit and watch. His teams are going to have to make a move first. And a couple of shots there do get that knock out Quieto. That's another team gone.
There'll be a lot of caustic gas in this final zone, especially with the amount of time that Boo have to wait on this cooldown. Licks will fall. 3 squads left. Solus, the only team on the other end, and Boo are getting pushed. This could be a Solus win. This could be a Solus comeback. These go down, and Solus, with a little bit of help from the zone, will claim a second and a first place on E-District.
Like, if I'm Solus, I'm sitting there, what happened? Like, there were 2 teams over there, and then they weren't. Like, crazy, and Solus just kind of get gifted that, and hey, after a rough start, what a way to end that.
I mean, yeah, like the end zone doesn't look particularly crazy. It's not something that you're going to go, oh, it was top 3 and then Solus did X, Y, and Z and suddenly came out on top. But the steps that they took to get there were really impressive. From game 5 to game 6, Solus was a completely different team. I mean, I want to take a look at this. Game 1, what did they get? Game 1, they got 0 points. Game 2, Solus, scrolling. got 11 points, not bad. Game 3, Solis,
The eighth,
4 points.
four
Yeah, 4 points.
points.
And then game 4, they got 0 points again. I mean, this team could not keep it together. And also, I need to correct myself. They actually got 9 points in game 2. But like this is a team that basically up until game 5 and 6 had just over 10 points, just under.
Yeah.
And in 2 games, they managed to put up 22 in game 5, and I mean, how many in game 6?
Yeah. It's just
21.
crazy. I want to point out, if this was match point, right? If this was match point, obviously like Angelite don't get a win, so like that they don't get there. Lust do get a win in game 4, but I'm pretty sure at that point they had not gotten over 50 points. Unironically, we would still be going right now, and Solus would be on match point. After that
So
start,
crazy.
they would have been able to make up that difference in 2 damn games.
Yeah. This is a crazy finish from Solus, and let's just look at this once again, because we were talking about the standings throughout the day. Our top 10 cutoff, Meowth don't quite make it, but Antidote, the team that came into today in 20th place overall, barely managed to hang on to top 10. This doesn't qualify them right out for finals, but it gives them a heck of a better fighting chance.
Yeah, it's, things are getting a little bit sketchy for some of these teams on the bubble, and next week is going to be stressful. So I very, next week, we're not going to be talking about the teams that are winning, especially if it is a team that is not anywhere near that bubble, like Angelite, Legacy, not Legacy, Lust, Solus. Like, these are teams that we're not really expecting to need to worry about next week. The teams that do, all of a sudden, we're looking at the middle of the pack for about 6 games.
Yeah, I like these last couple of games of the season, because we really only have 6 until the finals, are going to be all out brawls, and we're seeing that not just from the teams that still need to make it, but from the squads that are fighting for their final form. And that's the really scary thing, and it's honestly a blessing of the league as well, is that as you get closer to the finals, it's not like you're in your own group and the teams that have already made it don't play. The teams that already made it are playing, and they are playing in many ways a totally different game, one that prepares them for not just the end of the day, not just a great game, but a great end of season. So as the season dials up, we've got a whole lot more cooking. I think our next stream is Saturday, Sunday. I'm double checking right now, but you probably know off the top of your head.
It is Sunday. Yes.
Sunday. So 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday will be our next stream. That'll be for Luna League, and then we'll come back with Seoul next Tuesday. So a lot to look forward to for that last week. Thousand Eyes, it has been a fantastic day. Any final thoughts before we close?
Angelite are scary. This is a team that has grown so much, and now they have won 2 of the 3 weeks. I'm so happy to see this team succeed and do as well as they have been. I want to see them continue to do it. I want to see if Lust, Solus, some of these other teams can start popping up and figure things out and make things scary for them.
Yeah, like at this point, all of our teams, regardless of whether or not they want to, are reaching their final form, and I think we're seeing that for most teams go very positively. So, like you illustrate, a lot to look forward to, a lot of development still to happen in these teams. You can actually start doing some of this yourself should you choose to sign up and compete, which you can do, I think, generally on Wednesdays. But I think at this point, probably looking at next season. Start thinking about it, though, because we still got space for even more competition to enter the Women's League. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in here at Celestial Cup. A reminder, 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday will be our Luna League, so please go ahead and check them out and support them. And then we will be back here on Tuesday for the last week of Seoul before the finals, and we will see you then. Bye-bye!